Welcome to another episode of Chad Sports. How you doing? My name's Chad. Take a dive on sports. Welcome to the week 6 of the NFL season. We'll go over this upcoming weeks of games and give you my predictions. I do realize that 4 teams are definitely off this week, starting of the bye week season for the NFL. Detroit, Tennessee, Las Vegas, and Houston will all be off, so Houston gets to deal with an extra week of enjoying their victory. The Raiders have to deal with the whole Devante Adams situation, and I'll get to more of that towards the end of this video, so I'm not going to really, start this off right away. But before I dive into all that, if you could go ahead and smash that thumbs up for me, especially like content provider, really please YouTube guys, really help pop the channel out. So subscribe. Love you guys review my work. Now, many of you subscribe. This costs you a dime, helps me provide more time value for you. Now, we'll start off with tonight's game between Washington and Chicago. I know barn burner that's going to be here. And go with the what's going on with the two teams. Ron Rivera has already voiced his concerns about his quarterback play and Carson Wentz, and if you've watched him play, it's been pretty evident that he's a glorified backup. His play has just been horrible. Now he has taken on a Chicago team who hasn't been very good either. The defense has been the more highlight. The offense just can't seem to score touchdowns, and that's what's going to really hamper them. But with this one, I think I'm going to go more Chicago because once again I'm going to go with my preseason picks because I've been doing quite well so far these past 2 weeks, just doing my preseason picks and then making a few adjustments here and there. Preseason, I picked Chicago to win this one, and I think this is one of these games that Justin Fields needs. It's just one of these defenses that won't give him too much trouble. You probably have a little bit more time to be able to develop a little bit more relationship, try to get the running game going, and see what the Bears offense could look like once they get a couple extra key pieces in there. And I think Bart Scott said the best on Get Up that this is going to be the last game that we'll see Carson Wentz as a starter and probably playing quarterback ever again. I don't know if that latter part is true, but I think after this week, I think we'll probably see Tyler Heineke get the nod very, very shortly and probably get a short leash on Carson Wentz, depending how terrible it goes. But I'm definitely going to Bears. Right now the line's even. You pick them, but I'm going to go with my team. I'll take the Bears. We'll kick off Sunday action with the 49ers and the Falcons. Both teams are pretty much even. I mean, 49ers 3-2, Falcons 2-3. Falcons could be a lot better. Could be like a 4-1 team, possibly. They held on to the 2 leads. And the 49ers have had games where they were just bleh, like a Denver. That game there, which is just a high-scoring baseball game. And they just look really, really bad against Denver. Now, I know Atlanta has to deal with not having Cordell Patterson in there. And I know there's a few issues with the 49ers right now in terms of injuries. And I'm going to take the Falcons in this one. Right now, the 49ers are favored by 5.5. But I'm going to go with Atlanta in a shocker to continue to get a nice little win here and kind of hamper the 49ers a little bit. Then we head up to Cleveland where the Browns play host to the Patriots. Now this one I did kind of go back and forth on because eventually my preseason pick is Cleveland. Right now Cleveland's my favorite by 2.5. But New England does have a decent defense and they have a nice run game right now. But can the Cleveland front contain that run game, contain the quarterback, and eliminate all that aspect? If Cleveland can stop the run, I think it'd be no issue. I think Cleveland will be able to run it because they got a decent quarterback themselves, a nice running game. I mean, they got weapons on the offensive side. So I'm gonna go with Cleveland to win at home. To give Brownie another good win. But I think it's going to be a close game as well. Definitely probably a one-possession game. Then the Jets travel to Lambeau, and Green Bay has to take on another New York team that's doing quite well right now. And can the Jets strafe the Packers with a victory? Right now, the Jets look phenomenal. You don't see Aaron Rodgers lose back-to-back games very often, and I don't think it's going to happen here. Right now, they're favored by 7.5. It's not going to be by that. It's definitely going to be less than 7. And it's definitely going to be a one-possession game. The Jets will give them everything they can handle. I think for Green Bay, they need to concentrate on the run, get the running game going, just ground the Jets defense to the ground. Once you ground them, then you can hit them in the air. Maybe Lazard and Cobb can actually make some catches for you. And as long as the Packers defense can do enough to disrupt Zach Wilson, I think the Packers will end up winning a close matchup against the Jets at home. Then we have the Indianapolis where the Jaguars play host to the Colts. The Jags had that earlier season win that I called, that they beat the Colts. And well, this one I think Indianapolis is going to look for a little revenge. Right now Jacksonville is stumbling, and although maybe a game against the Colts is what they kind of need to get back on track. But I think the Colts are looking at this game that now they got 2 wins in the season. They're pretty much a 500 team. They're 2-2-1. They can kind of move forward and go, okay, this is what we need to do. This is where we got this going. I mean, we couldn't score any touchdowns against Denver, but we ended up winning anyways. They need to do that. They need to get the running game going, and that's one thing that's been hampering the Colts right now. They can't run the ball. If you run the ball, that opens up Matt Ryan's ability to be able to find his targets, because now the defense is concentrating on the run, then you can hit them in the air. Simple offensive aspects. And since they've already played the Jaguars once, they'll know exactly what Jacksonville's going to plan for them, so they can counter that and go after it. Right now, Indianapolis is favored by 2. I think it will be a very, very close matchup, but I am taking the Colts at home. Then we head down to Miami, where the Dolphins will play host to the Vikings. Right now, Tua's still going through the concussion protocols. And I think what I've been hearing is, even though if he's able to pass those, he's still not starting this week. Initially, I had the Miami winning. Right now, Minnesota is just one of these teams. They have a 3-headed monster right there in offense with Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, and Justin Jefferson. That if all 3 of these guys are operating on the same level, watch out. That Dolphins secondary is beat up. The Dolphins defense itself is not that great to begin with. So it's one of those things that you kind of, watch out for. And for me, I'm taking Minnesota to win down to Miami. I think it's just got too much Vikings. Vikings and cities on the waterfront, they just pillage and destroy. And I think that's what's going to happen. Then we head to the Big Easy where the Saints are playing host to the Bengals, and the Bengals are now looking like they're starting to gel and starting getting things moving in the right direction. Had to let down against Baltimore, but it was a very close matchup between the two, which I knew I was going to come down to that one anyways. And the Saints just one of these teams got all this talent, but they can't seem to be gelling. They're not doing everything they should be doing. James Winston's taking a step back. Have Kamara's not really performing. So if Winston's not doing well, the receivers not doing well, Hill is pretty much the more of the bright light right now for the Saints. So he should probably get the focal point on that one. But I think with the Bengals, I'm looking at them going, you know what? Originally, I had the Saints picked for this one in preseason, but I'm going to go with the Bengals on this one. I think Mixon could have a very decent game. He needs to get back into the aspect of being the more the focal point of this offense. I want to say really the focal point, but at least get the third of the possessions to really help alleviate Joe Burrow and give him a chance to find Higgins and Chase to really decimate defenses. So I'll take Cincinnati. They're favored by 1.5, and yeah, it's going to be a one-score game between them. Did Baltimore take on the Giants, and the Giants come off their big win in London against the Packers. Now get Lamar Jackson and this not very tough Baltimore Ravens defense. I'm looking at this one. I think it's a battle between Barkley and Jackson. Um, yeah, I know Jalen Jones is the quarterback, but Saquon Barkley can just run amok over the Ravens. That's what set the tone. You saw what the Giants defense did with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, not that great receivers. Lamar Jackson, great quarterback, not that great receivers. If the Giants just duplicate that game plan, they will give the Ravens everything they can flip and handle. Right now, the G-men are just being phenomenal in their aspects and trying to organize it, and they're looking like a very legit team, more legit than I thought they would be. But this is also a game that I've already predetermined that the Giants are going to win, and I'm sticking with the G-men to knock off the Ravens, even though the Ravens are favored by 5.5. I'm taking New York in this one. Then you got Tom Brady and the Buccaneers heading to the Steel City to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this team, I don't know. Kenny Pickett's now the QB1. Tomlin may be en route to his first losing season ever. Maybe he can get this thing turned around. Tampa Bay hasn't been dominant per se, but I think there's enough pieces there for them to really make Pittsburgh uncomfortable. There's another one that I originally had Pittsburgh. I'm switching to Tampa Bay. Right now, Tampa Bay's favored by 8. It's going to be closer than that. I think that Pittsburgh has more things to worry about. I think once TJ Watt gets back into the lineup, the Steelers' defense should improve, but because he's not there, they're missing that engine, that guy, that gear that keeps them going in the right direction. So their alignment's all off. They're veering to the right. I know I'm just all sorts of analogies here, but I think Tampa Bay will squeak past and beat the Steelers. Then you got Carolina heading out to L.A. to take on the Rams. Carolina's a complete mess. Now it's the first game without Matt Rule as the head coach. Take on the Rams team that's looking to rebound after getting embarrassed by the Cowboys at home. So, sorry Panthers, but the Rams is going to just knock you out. But the Rams also have issues on their team as well, because I think both Kupp and Aaron Donald have both kind of been out for injuries. So I think the Panthers might make it a little interesting, because right now the Rams are favored by 10. I think the Panthers will make it a little closer just because of the injuries, but it's going to be the Rams winning this one. Stafford needs to get back on his horse and start throwing bombs again. Then we head up to Seattle, where the Seahawks playing host to the Cardinals. Geno Smith is definitely tend to be a better a quarterback than Russell Wilson right now is. And the Cardinals team that just find themselves in games and then just falls apart. I mean, they had the opportunity to beat the Eagles last week, and then they missed the field goal. Seattle had games where they won and then turn around and just lay an egg. So we go back and forth between these two, trying to figure out which one is going to make the step up and make a good call. I'm just going with the home team on this one. Right now, Arizona's favored by 3. But I'll take Seattle at home to beat the Cardinals. I think it's just going to be one of those weird games that one of the birds are going to winning. We'll go ahead and start off with Kansas City hosting Buffalo, a rematch of last year's playoff game where a good coin toss could spell a different story for the outcome. That's still highly debated to this day. Even though I keep saying, if the Bills would have played defense at the end of the game and then in overtime, there wouldn't have been an issue, but, that's beside the point. This is between the two best teams right now in the AFC. One of these two teams are probably going to end up hosting or being the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs, and they'll have to go, if they end up winning, go through their location to the Super Bowl. Now, preseason-wise, I did pick the Bills to win it all. So you might think I'll probably go with Buffalo on this one, especially how Josh Allen is. I mean, he can get you in the air, and he can also get you on the ground. He's just a big old running back who'll just, stiff arm and run over defensive backs. But Patrick Mahomes is just one of those especially coded Madden characters that could just do weird things and just stop and hit a fadeaway jump shot on on a football field. Flying, diving across, across the field and still end up throwing it sidearm, no look passes. I mean, he's out there right now. Patrick Mahomes is going back to his old school self, where he's just out there playing straight ball. But the Bills' defense has been vamped to try to figure out ways to contain him. That's the reason why they brought in Von Miller to counter Patrick Mahomes. And right now, Buffalo's favored by 2.5. And you think, well, all my talk, am I going to go with the Bills? No. I'm taking the Chiefs. The reason why I'm taking the Chiefs, they're at home. That's the only reason why. If this game was in Buffalo, I would taking the Bills. But since we're playing at Kansas City, I'm going with the Chiefs. It's just one of those games that is going to be fun to watch, to really enjoy these two great quarterbacks going at it. This is the future of the league between these two guys. And in fact, they're playing the same conference, and you're probably facing each other every single year. Is just pure magic. Then we head off to the city of Brotherly Love, where another huge game between divisional opponents are going at it. The undefeated Philadelphia Eagles play host to the Dallas Cowboys. Dak is starting to do more practices. He's not really throwing too much with his hand. He is going through the motions, gripping the ball. But I think that they're going to probably keep him out this week. Maybe use him as an emergency backup and still go with Cooper Rush, because right now it's Rush they trust, because he has just been undefeated since he took over. And that's mainly because of how they've been running the ball more and just having highly effective passing attack, where Cooper Rush is more efficient at, and the defense has stepped up. Micah Parsons, like I said, should be in the MVP conversations, parity at dots. But they're playing a team that has one of the best offensive lines in the league, a quarterback that actually moves around, so he's not stationary, so it makes it a little harder to contain him. But the downside for him moving, he becomes less effective. His QBR drops if he's rushed. But he's also taking on the defense is no joke either. So I don't see the Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott rushing attack by the Cowboys being as effective. I don't see Cooper Rush making too many open shots to his receivers. So this is going to be a huge matchup between these two. Right now, Philadelphia favored by 6. It's going to be a lot closer in that one. But I am taking Philly at home, and that's only because they're at home. If they're in Dallas, I was going to go with the Cowboys. That's at how close these past two games are. It just depends on where they're playing at. That's who I'm going with. Using that home field advantage to your advantage. And I'm going to take Philadelphia in this one. And then that leads us to Monday night. This is where Kansas City Buffalo should be playing is Monday night. I really do. They need that their whole night, a whole day just for them. But this is Denver and the Chargers going at it, and Russ ended up having a procedure because apparently he's been pain as the throwing shoulder. I think it's the shoulder or the elbow. Regardless, apparently he's been playing with pain, so that's why his throws are off. The Chargers are looking to continue some little bit of momentum they had. And I'm going with Herbert on this one. This is the better team with the Chargers. And right now they're favored by 4.5. I'm sure it's going to be part by that anyway. It's just because how this is a divisional game. They always play each other pretty close. But I'll take the Chargers at home. All right, before I close this one off, I'm going to go dive into another situation that kind of transpired. And this is going to be a little bit of a rant, so I do apologize. It deals with the situation going on right now with Devante Adams. If you don't know, the end of last week's game between the Chiefs, You see, Devante Adams was very distraught when the game ended. All the players were on the field, handshaking and whatnot. He was walking back. Cameraman walked across the front of him near the tunnel. He pushed him, continued on walking, and then afterwards he apologized on camera as well as on Twitter for his actions, and it was, pretty much said it was uncalled for. The other day, the cameraman in question did file a police report, and the Kansas City Metropolitan Police then charged Devante Adams with misdemeanor assault for his allegations. Apparently, their photographer went to the hospital for a possible concussion. Now, being on Twitter, and I see all this talk going back and forth, and that a lot of people are backing Devante Adams, but there's also other people that have been part of photographers and press crew and whatnot. I don't know exact terminology you use for those guys that have the credentials to be on the field to take the pictures of the players. And they're pretty much saying that when the players go in and out, there's no one allowed in the tunnel unless they're part of the team or stadium crew, basically. But the problem I have with that one is, it's in the game. Where are all the players on the field, handshaking, conversing with the other team, their rivals, whatnot, talking about play, talking about, I'm going to get you next time, okay, we'll see about that, some trash talking. So Devante Adams was the only guy going back there. Now, both him and the cameraman, if you watch the video, were not looking at each other initially. Now, once the cameraman saw that his forward momentum was taken into the path of Devante Adams, he hurried up to try to get across. Devante went full extension and pushed him. Full extension. Elbows completely locked. This is what Russ will call offensive pass interference. Knocked him down, stopped, and continued walking. And then after he got undressed and got in front of the camera, he realized he messed up. He apologized on camera. He apologized on Twitter. People thought I was into that. But I said, the cameraman didn't file charges, and possibly, like I said, went to the hospital for concussion. Now, after that, going back to the Twitter nonsense, people were defending Devante Adams, saying she got in his way. The guy was pissed, leave him alone. Really? That's your stand? So if somebody jumped in front of you when you had a bad day and you pushed him, you don't think you get charged or actually get hit yourself? As a retired Air Force cop, police officer, MP, depending how you want to call us, any unwanted physical contact is classified as a simple assault. He charged the cops, Kansas City cops, the police, should I say, charged Devante Adams with a misdemeanor assault, which is a low level. It's not criminal. It's going to be community service and a fine. That's all it's going to be. Maybe some anger management classes. Because Devante's already apologized on the air. He apologized on Twitter. This guy's not looking for a payday because it's not a civil suit. So you can throw that nonsense out. That's just to hold him accountable. Now, regardless of your take if the guy should have been in the tunnel or not, Devante should not have shoved him, period, dot. Regardless if the guy's supposed to have been there or not. Regardless if, the security didn't do their job, so he should have sued the NFL and the stadium security for not, holding. Devante was the only guy going. Now, I understand if it's the whole team going, then yeah. The guy probably been pushed away because security goes, nope. Dummy, you stay over there. You should have been on the other side before you got that shot. Regardless, you still don't do it. You don't do it. If you're on the street or in the mall or somewhere in the store and you just push someone, you don't think you have repercussions yourself? Just because you're having a bad day? Because they don't have your favorite cereal? Well, the price of meat gone up? No. You're either getting decked by the guy you just pushed, or you're getting charged with a crime. Plain and simple. Defending Devante Adams' actions is... I'm trying to use the right words here because I'm not to offend too many people, but just dumb. Dumb. Because if you're the one that got pushed by Devante, wouldn't you be looking at going, all right, yeah, he's getting charged. Or getting up and, maybe taking a swing. Could this whole thing been avoided? Absolutely. Absolutely. Both guys could have been watch where they're going. Devante go, hey, what are you doing walking in front of me like that? The guy go, sorry, my bad. Or Devante go, went, oh, sorry, dude, you scared me. Let me help you up. You okay? You all right? You doing okay? Either of those things would have been fine. Nothing would have been done. If Devante would have stopped, helped him up, I think there would have been no issues whatsoever. There would have been no charge. Nothing. Devante was, still go, hey, I messed up. The guy jumped in front of me. Made sure he was all right. But he didn't. He continued to flip and walk. Now, do I think he should really have been charged? That's not my case. I can look at this one and go, yeah, it's technically simple assault, period. Kansas City Police are charged with misdemeanor, which, like I said, it's a slap and arrest. It's going to be community service and a fine. That is it. The guy's not going to see anything. It's not a civil suit. I don't know. I keep going back in circles, doing the same thing, round, and I apologize for that one. Because I'm just trying to, bring home this point that what Devante did was wrong. Both of them were in the wrong place, wrong time. Two things colliding in the same direction. Something's got to give. If Devante would have just picked him up and say, sorry, you're right, that thing would have been fine. You see it all the time on the sidelines when the cameramen get hit by receivers or defensive players. They kind of look at him and go, you okay? And then walk off. Same thing. If you were in that situation, you push someone down, you don't think, like I said, you're going to get hit or get charged with a crime. Unless you go, oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. You okay? And that's my take. Like I said, I don't think anything else is really going to come out of the Devante Adams thing. Like I said, it's going to probably be a slap and arrest, community service, pay a fine, and that's it. Nothing else going to transpire. And I'll get up my soapbox on the whole thing. But those are my picks. I did pretty much went almost all the home teams. That's how I initially went. There's only a handful of the road teams I went with. And those are the handfuls I changed. You still have the four teams that are off this week. So, like I said, it's going to be short by a couple games this week. So we'll kind of see how things kind of go. Last week I ended up going 11-5 overall, which is so far my best week of the season. And it's kind of early. But, hey, just let me know down below what you think. Which game do you think are completely wrong? Or your takes of the Dan Snyder and Devante Adams news. I mean, that's going to be a nice, heated discussion, I think, especially with Devante Adams. Which game are you looking forward to this weekend outside of Buffalo, Kansas City, Dallas, and Philadelphia? So, I got to handicap you there for a minute. Well, just let me know down below where you're making those comments. Make sure you hit that thumbs up once again. You can also share this video with your friends or family. It helps promote this video out. Once you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification. Let you know next time I post any more content on my channel. And I will see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.